Yeah, marvelous. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my Frank Lucas shit. 3-piece suits, Valentino cufflinks, LV shoes. I bring the shorty closer, just enough to feel the gun on the holster. Out on the balcony, feeling on the breeze. City skylines, we're puffing on some trees. Cup of Henny on the rocks with the soda. Maybach, front of the building with the chauffeur. And he waiting on me, got umbrella in his hands and my name in the seats. No gift, baby, no thanks, no chinchillas, baby. So what happened to Frank? No phone calls, transactions hand in hand. Give the drugs to Rick, the money to Benny Banks. Talk to Craze and he talks to me. Keep my business out the streets. It's the ART.
Welcome to the show.
Let's go.
We are here.
What episode is this?
This is episode number 38.
Oh shit.
Episode number 11 of season 3.
I want to do this no more.
And this episode is about the show. So it's called From Uptown with Love.
With love.
We're not
Sincerely,
show, though.
Rick, Banks, and Craze.
I'm here.
And sitting in our guest seat today
The guru.
is the baseball guru.
The baseball plug.
The baseball guru. The man that knows everything before it happens. The only guy I listen to. I don't watch ESPN. I don't need to. Because I just need to text E. And E will tell me, E-Man is here. So give it up, my man, E-Man.
He's in the building.
He communicates telepathically from the beyond with Steinbrenner.
Yes, he does. He does. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Erica Sanchez, our publicist. It is her birthday today, so happy birthday, Erica.
Ready.
So,
Strip club later.
a lot of people have hit us up, asked me, why don't you have a guest today? Well, it's simple. Every season, there's one episode where we don't have a guest, and the show is basically about us. And we talk a bunch of. Is the show about the show?
Well, it's not really about us. We just talking shit.
Why the fuck you have shades on?
So
It's fucking bright in here, and I want to have shades right now, bro. This is how I'm feeling, bro.
So this episode is sponsored by Stella Artois and their brand new Stella Red Cup.
Yo, they actually didn't they write us a note?
They did. So, Craze, would you please do the honors?
Can you read that?
Rick H, Benny Banks, Paulie B, and Craze Bugs. We thought you'd get a kick out of Stella Artois' latest innovation. Our twist on the American Classic Party Cup.
Oh,
Time to flip to a red cup with a stem and enjoy your new summer upgrade. Cheers, the Stella Artois team. Yo.
Cheers to Stella. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
That was not
Cheers.
sexual, bro.
That was perfect. That was perfect. And you got a slogan for this cup. What's the slogan?
It's classy yet ratchet.
Classy yet ratchet. So,
Check out my ASMR YouTube channel.
coming soon.
Where I whisper into the microphone and I play with
Play with what?
jars of mayonnaise. I don't know what the fuck. Whatever the fuck I want. ASMR, bro.
So thank you, Stella. For those of you who want the Stella Red Cup, StellaArtois.com. I think we're gonna get a shipment of cups, so I might give away a couple on our IG.
We gotta see if we can play flip cup.
Yo, we
With
should
the
try
cup.
that shit later, bro.
I'm ready.
I'm
I'm ready right now.
I'm with it, but not on the episode.
Why not?
So I think we should start with the most
It's
pressing,
your fucking show, bro.
up-to-date news that's going on right now. Last week we had Anthony Donahue on the show. He runs a Knicks podcast called 33rd and 7th. He was talking about the results of the draft and what might happen at the NBA free agency. Now, we don't know what might happen because it happened already. So, if you've been living under a rock, the Knicks did not offer Kevin Durant a max deal.
Let's go.
They wanted to see his medical records. And in return, Kevin Durant decided to
Bro,
take
the
his
Knicks
talent.
didn't do shit,
Hold on,
bro.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Relax.
Nah.
Bring it down.
Nah.
They decided to. I mean, Kevin Durant decided to take his talents to Brooklyn.
Let's go.
So did Kyrie Irving, because that was his intention from the beginning. The Knicks ended up signing a bunch of
Bums.
Other players. I'm not gonna say bums.
No,
Other
say
players.
bums.
Solid vets.
Solid, sort of vets.
Yeah.
Just say bums.
I don't know. VL13 Films is in the house as well,
Overpriced
and so is Mr. Nueva York. So
Fresh off the golf course. I see you.
I see the golf shirt. You know, embroidery kings. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, wow.
VL13 Films is rapping hard though. He got the Rick A Show shirt
I'll
on.
bring it out later.
So basically, the Knicks struck out. They sold the fan base on the fact that they were going to sign Kyrie and Kevin Durant this offseason. They traded away KP in the middle of the season to make cap space to sign both of them. Now, we signed a bunch of guys,
They,
2,
first
3
of all,
year
they
deals.
signed a bunch
Hold
of.
on, I'm
Yo,
not
fuck
there.
that.
Let me
No,
get
no,
to
no,
you.
no,
Hold
no.
on.
You're taking way too long for this shit,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
All right.
They traded
Tell him what you
Porzingis.
mad, son. Tell him
Yo,
what you
they
mad.
traded Porzingis because they
Here
thought
we
they were
go.
gonna get KD
The
and
mad rat.
Kyrie, right?
Okay.
Tell them.
They had Porzingis by his balls. He wasn't going anywhere because even if he tried to sign with another team,
They could match.
They could have matched it. So they traded him away for nothing. Then they didn't get Kyrie or KD.
Okay.
Then they signed a bunch of bums, so now they got no money.
Wow.
So the Knicks are garbage, bro. I'm not a Knicks fan
I'm with
anymore.
you.
Wait. Damn.
I'm hopping the bandwagon, bro.
So Benny has a huge announcement to make on this
I'm hopping
episode.
on the
What
bandwagon.
is that? What is that? What is
Hard.
that? What is that?
BK all day.
It's BK all day.
Let's go.
So
Day. Fuck the Knicks, bro. Hard.
Fuck 'em.
Benny's been a Knicks fan for 29
20
years,
Fuck 'em.
and he's he's
You're hopping
jumping
up
off the bandwagon.
Listen, I hop on whatever bandwagon is good. I was a Warriors fan last year.
Right.
I'm a Nets fan this year. I don't care. I don't give a
Whatever
shit.
team is winning.
Craze just wins. That's what he does. He's in a winning
I win,
situation.
and whoever has the coolest jerseys.
Oh yeah.
All
That's
right.
that's what I mean.
So how you feel about the logo? You said something though about the logo.
Oh, the Brooklyn logo is trash. They need to change that.
So they need to change that.
They need to
I like
change
the
that.
black and white.
So breaking news, you heard it here first. Benny Banks is officially a Brooklyn Nets fan.
Bro, and if you want to feel like me, if you want to be happy, if you want all that
here we go.
stress off your back,
Come to death row.
exactly.
Let's go.
If you don't like
You want the
if
rappers
you don't like
all
your
in the
managers
video.
dancing all over the
Videos.
videos,
There you
come
go.
to Brooklyn.
And you'll get paid one of these
You
days.
get paid, baby.
I don't even know who the fuck owns the Brooklyn Nets.
Some Russian dude, no?
Actually,
Nah.
he just sold 49% of his
It's not a
stake
Russian dude.
to the Chinese conglomerate Alibaba, the company.
shit.
So,
So they're about to
Shout
take
out to
over.
Alibaba.
Is Jay-Z still part owner?
No, he sold his.
He had to sell out. So in order to be an agent or run an agency, you have to sell any part ownership of any club that you're in. So
he-
Jay-Z sold his.
Yeah, and
So-
turned it into Rock Nation Sports.
He doesn't only know baseball, he knows the business of sports. So that's why he's also in this episode. He explained to why Kevin Durant wanted to line himself with the Nets because of the Alibaba thing.
Nah, he
There
wanted
was a
to.
couple of different reasons why.
Go ahead.
So it was not only about the money in terms of the actual contract, because Kevin Durant everybody knew he could make more money, obviously, with the Golden State Warriors. But off the field, he really wanted to do what was best for his actual businesses. So the way that LeBron went to the Lakers, winning was not the number one thing.
Right.
His movie and television production company was the number one thing. So for Kevin Durant, winning's really not the number one thing right now. Obviously, he's doing his rehab, but also most of his businesses are based in New York City with
Okay.
his company. And he wanted to come here. Everybody thought it was to the Knicks. Unfortunately, the Knicks were not in as good a position as the Nets, as attractive position. I think me and Rick are the only people who are gonna stay Knicks fans, but
Good.
right now Brooklyn is more desirable destination in every facet of the game.
Bro,
than the
let me-
Knicks.
So let's do a poll real
Let me,
quick.
no. Let me say something real quick. Let me say
Uh-oh.
something.
Tell us.
Yesterday, well, 2 days ago, I was very depressed. I was a Knicks fan. I was a fucking depressed.
And now you feel great?
And now you're wearing shades and you're feeling
Then I
good.
decided to become a Brooklyn Nets fan
Let's go.
because I saw these dumb signings. They signed Bobby Portis. They signed this dude,
Alfred Payton.
Alfred Payton. They signed some other dude. What's his
Julius
name?
Randle.
Taj Gibson.
Taj
They're not-
Gibson.
So listen to this. So then I decided to become a Brooklyn Nets fan because that took me over the edge. Then it's like maybe 10 minutes after I decided to become a Brooklyn Nets fan, they signed 2 more bums. And I started laughing.
Well, Wayne
Because
Ellington
I was
and
like,
Alfred Payton.
I was like, I felt so good not to be a Knicks fan.
So
and not to let
me defend the Knicks move
anymore.
No, one second.
Don't defend that shit.
Wait.
Don't defend it.
Wait.
You're making excuses.
No, I'm not
bro.
making excuses.
Okay, let's
They
see
did
what
a
you
terrible job recruiting Kevin. First of all. Second
No,
of
no,
all,
no. You're
you
making
don't.
excuses right now.
Hold on a
All
second.
right, make the
Bro,
excuses.
let's talk.
No, I don't want to hear that shit. I've been hearing it for 20 years, bro.
First of all, the mistake they made was giving Knicks fans hope that they were gonna get Kevin and Kyrie, thinking that they were gonna sign those two players.
That was mostly the old.
And that was the pitch
That
for
was
the
mostly
entire
Dolan.
season, right?
It was mostly.
It was mostly James Dolan. No NBA player wants to, no all-star superstar wants to play for James Dolan. None. Zero. The Greek freak in 2 years is not coming here. I'm sorry. He's going to stay in Milwaukee.
Here, bro.
No NBA player wants to play for you. James Dolan, sell the team, please.
Bro, and that's another thing. They signed a bunch of dudes for 2 years, thinking that they're gonna try to go for the Greek.
And
freak.
if you don't want
That
to allow
dude's
me an
not
MSG,
coming.
that's fine. It's
Yo,
cool.
but
I'm
The
good with
Knicks
that.
are gonna be terrible for another 20 years,
Hold
bro.
on.
If you want to stay there, stay.
I don't know shit about
I'm
basketball,
gone.
man.
Okay.
I
So,
don't know shit about basketball.
Yo, Craze,
It's
tell them
actually-
what you know.
It's a
Tell
little
them
worse.
what
It's
you
a
know,
little
Craze.
worse. Some people are claiming that if you build through draft picks or these like lower income players, it's like a better deal.
Lower income.
Section 8, Section 8.
No, no.
Section 8,
I mean, let's just be serious. They are Section 18.
Non-max players.
They sleep in their cars and shit.
No.
Let's be serious.
No,
There are some teams out there
non-max
struggling.
players. That's what I meant. The Knicks, that wasn't their plan. That wasn't the actual original plan.
Yeah.
The actual problem is a little bit worse. The problem was not only they didn't get KD, they didn't get Kyrie or whatever. They couldn't get a meeting with Kemba Walker. They couldn't get a meeting with Al Horford. They couldn't get a meeting with Jimmy Butler. The president of the New York Knicks is in Los Angeles right now trying to get a meeting with Kawhi Leonard.
And it's not happening.
He didn't get it. So that's plan C or D or E or F was then to sign these other players that they
Yo,
got.
dime de Kawhi. Where's he going?
Kawhi's gonna go either to the two LA teams or Toronto. He's gonna make his decision this week.
I'll say Lakers.
Hey!
I'll say he wants the Lakers.
Is that a fact, though?
I think it is.
Oh, shit, it's a fact.
What do you think, man?
Why is he going to the Lakers? Nah, I think he's going back to Toronto.
I think one or two things happen. He either becomes a Clipper or stays in Toronto. And from what it looks like, I think he's going to end up in the Clippers. Clippers got 48 wins, went to the playoffs. They have a good structure. They got a good owner. They got a good coach. They got a good situation for him over there.
Now,
And
to
he
be
wants to
honest,
go to the West
you
Coast.
know where he's going?
Plus, the Warriors
he's going to the
are
Brooklyn
not
Nets,
gonna,
baby! Brooklyn Nets!
The Warriors aren't going to be the Warriors next year. So the Clippers have a chance to win a title. I don't know why you go to the West Coast as a basketball player because the East is wide open. Shout out to Kemba Walker. He got his money. He deserved that. Shout out to Al Horford going to the 76ers.
All of them.
Shout out to all the players that got paid. Because at the end of the day, those guys buzz their ass to get
I
paid.
didn't get paid shit.
We still talking about that shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Shit, bro.
So I'm a Knicks fan. Benny's a Nets fan. Craze don't care. And he's a Knicks fan.
Bro, we've
End of that
been in
conversation
Brooklyn
right there.
for 7 years. And we've been to the playoffs more than the Knicks in 20
Yo,
years.
you know how you tell you're an official fan when you use the word we? So we've been in
Nets,
Brooklyn.
baby. We've only been in Brooklyn for 7 years.
By the way, those shades are Brooklyn Nets shades. That's why he's rocking them.
Brooklyn Nets.
Charles Oakley said that, because, now I'm an ESPN fanatic. So Charles Oakley said that no player's going to go to the LA Clippers because LA Lakers is the big sister team or the big brother team. So why go to the little brother team?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna
What
respond
about
to
the
you right
Brooklyn
now.
That's what
Nets?
happened to the Knicks. Yeah.
That's the
I'm gonna respond to you right now. So it was the same situation here in New York. It was the same situation here in New York.
Disrespect you, man.
Oh, can I get the floor?
All right, go.
It was the same situation here in New York. It's Brooklyn Nets. It's not the New York team. They're not known as a New York team. And they're the underdogs. They're the little brothers. Same thing as the Mets and the Yankees. The Nets ended up walking away with the two picks, the two players the Knicks wanted. In LA, the Clippers have an establishment already. They're not a little brother team. They've made the playoffs. They've had their
They're
moments.
not the Lakers, though. They're not the
That's what I'm
Lakers.
saying.
They're not the Lakers, but the Lakers aren't the Lakers. Magic Johnson left the Lakers. He's like, yo, I'm out.
Don't talk
Yo,
about
let me
Magic
say something.
And
too.
Kawhi Leonard does not give a F about anything. He does what Kawhi wants to do. So I honestly feel he's going to be a Clipper. That's my honest to
Yo,
God
let me
truth.
say
right there.
something.
I wouldn't
about
be shocked
baseball,
with any of the three, though. I wouldn't be shocked
Wait,
with
what
any
do
of the
you
three scenarios. For Kawhi, I wouldn't be shocked.
No, I mean,
Like if he joins the Lakers, I
they're
wouldn't be
three good
shocked.
options.
If
Bro,
he
you
goes back
don't
to
know
Toronto,
nothing. You don't know what that guy's gonna do.
no, he's
Yo,
out.
yo, yo, Swells. All right. Let's calm down.
We
Let's
going
calm
hot.
Let's
That's
calm
why
down.
crazy.
hot, bro.
He might go back to Toronto.
That's
He's the
why
king of the
Crazy's
North.
here. That's why Crazy's here.
Let's calm down.
That's why
Let's take-
Crazy's here.
Let's take 2 deep breaths, everybody.
And let me say something about the Mets, bro.
wait,
They're
wait,
hanging
wait,
on by
wait,
a thread. They're hanging on by a thread.
All right, we need to get control of the show. Hold on. I said we'll discuss things and we'll flow into shit.
got
Like,
it.
relax, bro.
We're getting too
You're
much.
going into baseball.
Nobody
We
gives
haven't
a shit
finished the
about the
basketball.
fucking Knicks
No,
besides
you-
you two.
No, a lot of
Let's
people
move on.
do. A lot of people do.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, Anthony.
So wait, last thing, Knicks. They actually did pretty good in those signings. Hold on a second.
No.
They signed players to play for next year with options in the contract. It wasn't a lot of money. Some players they might have overplayed a little bit, but they got veteran players to groom their young players. They're gonna have a young, very young, athletic team.
They're gonna be in the lottery.
You're falling
next year
into
again.
They will be the lottery again.
Like Gilbert, yo.
Oh my god.
They will be in the lottery again. But all I want is for James Dolan to sell the fucking team. So stop going to the Knicks games,
He's not in the
please.
South.
Rick got
That's
five on
the
it.
only reason why they haven't sold that team. That's the only reason the NBA won't step in. The NBA stepped in the LA Clippers situation. They won't step in here because the Knicks are still
They let the
their
league in
most valued
attendance.
franchise. They led the league in attendance, and the team won 17 games. Stop going to the game.
I'm glad
That's my
that
last
I'm
point.
a Nets fan because now I'm looking at it from the outside in, and you are delusional. my
He's
friend.
been a Nets fan for like 2 days,
I'm a
and
Nets
now,
fan
and now that's it. He's got the inside
And,
scoop.
dude.
Barkley all day.
You're like it's serious.
It is
You're
serious.
delusional,
Oh,
bro.
So now we're moving on from basketball to baseball.
So baseball.
They're hanging on by a thread, the Mets, bro.
Hold on a second.
I'm
The
about to
All-Star
tell you.
game is about to come
In
up.
this game right now, you mean, or like
No,
in general?
I'm about to switch to the sides.
The
I'm
All-Star
about to become a
game.
Yankee fan, dude.
There's plenty of space in the bandwagon, man. You
I'm
can
ready
hop
for
on.
these babies.
Hold on. Let me. You're not letting me. You're just jumping in. Let's be organized, bro.
Nah,
Let's
dude.
be organized. Let's be organized.
You got me hot with the Knicks, bro.
Do it.
Hold
Do
on.
it. Get crazy.
We're in the middle of the
I'm
season.
about to knock this shit.
I'll flip this.
We're in the middle of the season.
Calm down.
Yo, honestly,
Alright, let's stop. Let's stop screaming.
we're in the middle of the season. The Yankees are the Yankees. In the beginning of the season, people thought that they weren't going to be there. They're there. And the Mets are the Mets. Quite frankly. Unfortunately, they're playing each other today. The Yankees are up 2-0. What a surprise. The game's on the Yankees went to London. They continue to be the standard for Major League Baseball with all the World Series rings. Blah, 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 blah. I hate the Yankees. Let's go Mets. But there is a huge situation going on in New York. Another situation where the owners of a team do not have any clue to what they're doing with the team. Hence the bad luck of the team.
I feel that.
So, the Mets. Benny has his take on the Mets. Now you can say your
What's your
fucking
take?
take.
What's your take on the Mets, Benny?
I'm about to let them loose
Tell him.
Why?
Tell him.
because I've been a Mets fan since I was like 8 years old, bro.
Why?
I don't know. To be honest. At this point, I don't know. I switched from the Knicks to the Nets, and I felt that weight come off my shoulders.
Please.
Okay.
Like I feel looser now.
Release it.
And now, I feel like if I switch to the Yankees, if I jump on that bandwagon, and I just cut the Mets loose, I feel like, yo, I'm gonna be a new person.
Luckily,
Your
I
fucking
mean,
life
walking.
is gonna open up.
I mean, walking down the street bopping, bro.
well, you live in the Bronx already. That's
That's what
one.
I'm saying.
I'm already in the Bronx.
Two,
I don't know why I'm a Mets fan.
we have E here, and he's going to convince you why you could turn to the dark side.
They also got some ugly ass colors. The Mets.
No, the Mets, they're not that ugly colors. They're the Knicks colors.
They're the New York City colors.
I don't know about the city, but at least the Knicks. The Mets, they have a myriad of issues. Why does Mickey Callaway still have a job? That behooves me. I do not know. After he disrespected the reporter like that. The problem is the general manager of the Mets didn't hire that manager, so he can fire him whenever he wants. He's probably going to fire him at the end of the season because he doesn't want to fire him now, because if he fires him now, they're going to say, okay, so what are you doing? But at the end of the season, he can fire him. And he said, oh, I didn't hire him. That's his fault. Next year is going to be, so he's trying to buy himself a new year. So that's one of the reasons why. Like Mickey Callaway has
All
to be
right,
fired.
but let's get off the Mets. Sell me on the Yankees.
The Yankees, like obviously, there's a lot of consistency with the Yankees in terms of like the hierarchy of the ownership, the organization, the coaching staff. Obviously, this is a new coaching staff, only 2 years, but the Yankees have only had 3 coaches in the last 30 years. So that's a very good step in the right direction. The Yankees are one of the few teams, not in baseball, but in all of sports, who they did a rebuild on the fly. Like the Astros did a rebuild, the Chicago Cubs did a rebuild. They both won championships, but in order to do that, they spent like 5 years losing 100 games
So, E,
to get
what
great
is a
draft
rebuild?
picks. A rebuild is when you know that your team's not going to win consistently, so you break it down and you try to rebuild with young players. That's what the Mets should actually do, but instead of that, they went with a lot of veterans like Robinson Cano, Todd Frazier, so they're not rebuilding. But the Yankees were the only team that in order to rebuild, they didn't break it down completely. So what they did is they traded Aroldis Chapman and Andrew Miller. They got great players like Gleyber Torres back, and they redid their team on the fly. They had A-Rod. There was an unfortunate situation with A-Rod leaving the team.
You said his name. You said
But
his name.
they brought up Gary Sanchez, who became a superstar. So that's how the Yankees
Time out.
redid their team, and they were never under 500.
So,
Talk about him.
hold on a second. You said his name.
Yeah. He was in London
So
supporting the team.
I have a question.
That's the face of baseball right now.
Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira. Very similar numbers. Actually, Mark had worse numbers than Alex in that same season. Why was Alex told to go and Mark told he could stay and finish out the season?
There was still some sort of backlash against A-Rod's suspension and lying and things like that of those natures.
Wait. Alex was suspended. Yes, he did sue the team. He comes back.
What?
He is the best citizen on the team. The dude, Gary Sanchez,
What is this?
he was the best teammate on the team. Gary Sanchez would not be Gary Sanchez if it wasn't for his
Which
talks
means
with
that he was
A-Rod.
good off the field too.
Off the field as well. He did everything the team asked.
I didn't know that shit was
Then that season comes. They pull Alex in. You gotta leave by Friday.
Damn.
Mark, wait, hold on a second. This is a legit question.
Tell me.
Mark had worse numbers. Was playing less than Alex. Mark was allowed to stay and retire. Alex had to walk. I mean, yes, he got paid handsomely for the next year. Why, Alex?
The organization felt that Mark was rehabbing a femur injury, which was a fracture of the leg. So they said his numbers are not bad only because he's getting older, but he's also rehabbing. He might have another shot to recover. He didn't recover. He came back. He wasn't as good. Obviously, he was at the end of the road. A-Rod, according to doctors and according to A-Rod himself, was 100% healthy. He was just in a terrible slump at that moment. So that's what they felt, that A-Rod was not going to be enough to hold a roster spot in terms of versatility. Because A-Rod didn't want to go to the bench either. He just wanted to start, and they waned to,
So another thing
to go with the youth movement.
with baseball stars, you need at bats.
Wait, Craze, I have a question.
Did J-Lo have anything to do with it?
No, this was a few years
This
ago.
was way before J-Lo. It was way before J-Lo.
J-Lo?
This is more around the Kate Hudson era.
No, this is actually
It's a little late.
It's actually he was dating Tori Wilson at the time.
Oh shit.
Yes,
Was she the stripper?
He was
No, she was the WWE.
okay. No, she was the wrestler.
Oh, that's
Tori
her
Wilson.
name.
Now, hold on a second. This is getting crazy. Like I don't have control of the actual fucking show. So for a baseball player
Damn, why you getting
to
angry?
get numbers, he needs at bats. A-Rod was not getting those at bats that year. So is that still the logic? That was the Yankees' explanation.
No, it was also they wanted to give more bats and like free time to the young guys. They actually didn't know that they were gonna stay in contention that year. They thought they were gonna take a step back, which they did. They didn't make the playoffs, but they still finished over 500. So they just went with Gary, a lot of the young guys, because they were also coming off of trying to but trying to get behind A-Rod, Teixeira, and then the core four, because Jeter obviously retired. Mariano was about to retire. So they were trying to remake the team into the core that is right now, bringing up Judge, bringing up
I like that guy.
Gary Sanchez, who stays solid. Obviously, Didi, who's replacing the captain, was one of the new leaders of the team. and C. Sabathia, who always stay throughout the team.
Well, I like Torres. I like Didi. There's a lot of Yankees I like, so I'm not gonna throw it out there. CC legit though. He does his thing on and off the field, and
He's too old already.
What?
He needs to get out of here. He needs to retire.
He
This
announced-
is
he
last
announced he
season.
retired. This is his last
This
season.
is last season.
He's on his tour.
But the man's done his thing.
That's
You know.
it. He needs to retire. That's it.
Let's get off baseball already. Let's get off sports completely.
Let's go.
Let's talk about Washington Heights.
I'm ready.
So we.
Shot.
That's right. I'm from Washington Heights. So currently there is
Transition.
there's a production going on in Washington Heights about the Heights, in the Heights. So Lin-Manuel Miranda he did it in the Heights. He didn't want to do it in the LA lot. He's talked about this plenty of times. He wanted to do it in the actual neighborhood. He wanted to get the visuals. And he not only did he want to do it in the neighborhood, he wanted to have the extras and the actors from the neighborhood.
That's legit. I fuck with that.
So
That's dope.
my thing is, what are your thoughts, Benny? You with your
Benny, what are your
Brooklyn
thoughts?
Nets.
Benny, what are your thoughts? We're gonna get there right now. We see you.
Wait, hold on. Can you repeat the question?
What are your thoughts, man? Just whatever's in your fucking
About
mind.
Lin-Manuel Miranda and In the Heights.
Whatever's in your mind.
It's dope. I don't care. I'm just mad that I'm not in the fucking movie.
Yo, we should have auditioned.
Wait.
Our
Wasn't
goal-
he supposed to be on the show though?
What?
Hit him up.
No.
Hit him up, and maybe we could get some parts.
Yo, I think they're shooting already though. Are
Why
they?
you?
Are they shooting already?
Yes, they're shooting. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, yes, he might be on our show.
Well,
We don't
why
know
we
yet.
can't
We're
throw
still
it out
waiting
there?
to get a confirmed date.
Well, if he's not, if he's gonna be on
Yeah,
the show,
but we
maybe
don't-
We could
yo,
be.
can you-
Man, he,
So, Craze has a topic that you would like to
I
talk
have a
about.
couple
Wait, no,
things.
why we-
Yes, he
a couple
does.
of things I forgot.
oh,
I forgot about them. But
So let's go with
I
one of
know that I
yours.
wanted to talk about, especially I see some faces here that I wanted to ask. The deaths in DR. We talking about deaths in DR. You don't want to talk about that?
Nah, let's just next.
All right, next.
Wait,
next
what?
topic.
Yeah.
That was my topic.
why?
Because it's gonna get like people are gonna get emotional about it, and it's
I'm
gonna
always
be a
emotional.
screaming match, and I just don't want to
No,
get
let's
into
not.
that
Let's
point.
have a.
I mean, if you want to talk,
about
you have stats for that, so let's talk about
I
that.
do have stats.
So give me some stats about it. Oh, what's
Hey.
up? Shout out to a different concept in the building. My man O's here.
Let's go. All right. So
I
that was
think
my topic.
I think that people have been overreacting to the deaths in DR.
Okay.
How many deaths have? So last year, the deaths thing came up. There was like 9 deaths in like 7-8 months. So then I started looking it up. So last year, 13 people died in DR. Last year, 196 tourists, American tourists, died
That's
in
true.
Mexico. Not only that, I think 37 died in what was the other one? Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, Brazil.
I think it was Costa Rica, Brazil,
Thailand.
it was Thailand.
Just die every day.
It was a bunch of people.
Even Canada had more
I
deaths.
think, yeah, Canada had more deaths from American tourists than DR last year.
Yo, last week.
And this is just an overreaction.
So Craig,
Google it.
give me the theory,
Well, my conspiracy theory,
which I believe also. I'll co-sign that
it
one.
has to do with Taiwan and China. That's
Okay. Explain why Taiwan and China.
Damn, I would need like
DR
I
deaths.
need
Like a chart.
like a chart, like a bulletin board, PowerPoint type shit. But
You need like
the
a globe,
synopsis-
like a globe
the
to
Give
point
us
out.
the what's that book
synopsis.
for dummies? Give us the
the
synopsis.
synopsis, I like that word.
Synopsis.
That's a good
It
word.
has a lot of S's.
Okay.
The synopsis is basically that Taiwan and
Well, I'm
DR
not-
had a trade deal, and now
Yeah.
China
I tried this one.
All right.
These
These are real, by the way.
Trade deal. What's the?
These are real in case people
No,
don't
so let me
know.
ask you
Let him
this.
speak.
You're gonna ask me a question,
And
then
you're not
pop
even
beers-
gonna listen to
pop
him.
beers in
Go
my
ahead,
face.
go ahead, go ahead.
Give him some beer.
I'm gonna give you a beer.
Give it to me
I'm gonna
first.
give him a beer.
Okay.
Let's get all this beer shit out of your system.
Oh, look at that.
Go ahead.
That was
Ooh,
terrible pour.
Drink that one though. I feel
Pour.
like you need it more than I do.
I will. Thank you.
That was
Stella.
mad red.
Yo, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers. I love y'all.
Cheers. Cheers.
So 38 more episodes.
38 more episodes. Stella.
Nah, I can't drink this right now.
Thank you, Stella. It's fucking delicious.
I personally am offended by the attacks on us, by the press and the media. But I honestly, like, I look at flights now and they're super
They're
cheap.
great.
So,
I think that part's great.
I mean,
man's going on
I'm actually going this weekend to the DR for a few days.
Yeah.
So go believe the hype. Obviously, not just DR. Any place you go, you visit. You're a tourist. hey, if you're gonna go visit family, visit your family. If you're gonna go to the resort, just stick to the resort. You don't have to be going to weird places that you're not familiar about. You're gonna get taken advantage of. That's not on the country. That's on you. So just keep around your surroundings and just go out and have a relax, have a good time, and tip all the people over there. They depend on it.
Accountability.
Good job, B.
So,
I think I'm gonna go to the resort and I'm gonna poison some tourists.
so fortunate for us today, Mr. Nueva York is here, and I would like, come on, man.
He came in golf gear.
He came in his. No, you can sit right here. He's gonna sit next to me. This is like my brother right here. Damn,
He's about to explain.
I should have not told you to sit next to me. Damn, I look small now. So, Poppy,
Get close.
how you feel about the situation in DR? I don't think you've gotten this on record.
No, I don't wanna
You don't want to comment on
I
that.
don't want to comment on it, you know?
Okay.
Like, I don't feel death should be justified, like you guys were saying,
Yeah.
oh, there's 100 deaths over there. A death is a death, you know, at the end of the day, it's somebody's family suffering.
Yes, sure.
And it's not, you know, people die every day, B, but I agree with her where they're attacking that because that's our main
Source of income.
you
Yes,
know?
it is.
And DR has been so glorified, right? Like DR, the Dominican women, Dominican food, everything has been so blown up that, you know, people like negative, right?
Okay.
Los comentarios negativos, noticias,
That's what moves the press,
entretenimiento, eso es lo
Right.
que mueve, you know. So anytime the media gets a chance to get a clickbait, they'll do it. And the way they've positioned it is to make it seem like these deaths happened one day after the other. These deaths have been like spread
I'm
out.
trying to say that.
So I think my
being a
brother
pandemic,
said that
that's
it's been
nonstop.
like in the
Yeah.
last 6 months.
Right.
It's opposed to it, the way the press is. 'Cause the press could be a mean thing. The way the press reports it is as if it's happening immediately. And I think there was a death of a couple. I'm sorry to hear about that. It was off the Bahama coast or something like that. And I thought the press was reporting it as if it was, oh, it might be also be related to the deaths in DR. So I'm not about that. If you want to attack DR on something else, you can. Not the tourists. There's still people going to DR no matter what. I've had 4 coworkers that are not Dominican go back to DR just because of that bad press. So for those people who support us, continue going to DR. That's how that country lives, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's
So-
weird, but you can't deny the fact that it's weird the reasons of the deaths. Like you can't compare, you know, 7 deaths related to the same cause as opposed to 113 deaths in Costa Rica, but those deaths are not like
Well, the
one
theory
death
is
was a cow ran you
tainted
over, one
alcohol or whatever.
death- Yeah, so there's something
get
to
what
be
you're
like.
saying.
We have to
Yeah.
look into that
Yeah.
at least.
I
Yeah,
agree.
we do.
I think that shit, that type of shit has been happening, not just now. Like,
Forever.
It has
Forever.
happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
But
feel
you know,
like
no, you're right, because la prensa siempre tiene que si hay una noticia positiva y una negativa, vamos a la noticia negativa porque esa es la noticia que le va a dar más
Now,
clicks.
this is DR press also involved in this because the DR press, so the David Ortiz ordeal, it's not what is being reported here in the U.S. So if you want to know about the David Ortiz story, look into Dominican press. Not the well-known DR press, not their because they're spinning it as
Yeah,
David
the
Ortiz.
government officially said it wasn't nothing to do with David.
Okay, so
A
David
lot of people
Ortiz,
don't believe
for
that.
example, Big Papi is a
Papi.
big man, right? They're saying that a guy like me, little,
Mistaken identity.
mistaken identity, they shot him instead of shooting me. And now, if you look at the guy that they allegedly confused David Ortiz for,
Who is it?
there's no way, like, you gotta be,
It's like, I don't know.
you're insulting people's intelligence, bro. You could have came up with a better excuse than that.
That was the Dominican press that said that?
The Dominican,
American press.
Or the
the
American?
Dominican government.
Yeah, the Dominican police said that the official story was that it had nothing to do with
Mistaken
David
identity.
Ortiz, that there was a hit on somebody, and when the guy, the hitman, got there to kill the person who he thought it was, he confused the guy that he went to kill with David Ortiz. And as Rick was saying, it was 2 people that couldn't be more different.
E, give me the stats on David Ortiz. What does he look like? What's his height? What's his weight?
So David Ortiz, everybody knows, the big, strong,
Big Poppy.
big Poppy, big lovable Poppy. Everybody loves him, but he's a big, very
6'4", 6'3".
6'4", 6'5",
6'4",
250 pounds when he was playing, and he's like when he was playing, he wasn't the most athletic guy. He's always big, so he's still the same size that he was, and a very strong, like heavy set man. So you can't come and say that a 5'9", 5'10", average built person who's not even the same skin complexion is David Ortiz.
Now, I went to Punta Cana recently, and I was talking, when I go over there, I always have conversations with the people that work there. They work 13, 16 days straight. Then they're allowed to have 3 days off. The guy I was talking to is from Santiago. So he has to travel 8 hours after he gets off his ship, travels 8 hours to go see his family, and then has to travel 8 hours back to the tourism. That's one thing about the people that work in that tourism.
How much you took them?
What?
How much you tip them?
He was handling my bags.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
25 American dollars.
Okay.
He was the one that was handling my bags. So when I go to DR, I always tip my band, but the guy that handles the bags,
Yeah, I heard him.
the lady that takes care of the room,
Hold them
because there's
accountable.
always a woman, and
Hold them accountable.
the bartender that's always serving me drinks.
25
So those-
each.
25 each. Every time you see them.
So the bartender got 40 though, because he got me litty. So
Every time you see
But
them.
that's how you do it.
You must have gave me something else.
that's just, and I disagree with what they said. There are a lot of people who came to our defense. If you're on Twitter, the biggest Dominican artists,
Yeah, the big
names out there. What?
American press did not.
American press is not gonna because they're against DR right now. But I'm talking about people who are from the Dominican Republic who live in the U.S.
I agree with that.
and people that are not even Dominican came to our defense as well. That was a very passionate topic.
Yeah, man. Yo, can we talk about the Nike, the Air Max, the Betsy Ross ones?
So we're gonna go into that one.
Transition.
So I'll let you explain
Smooth.
that.
That was
one.
smooth. Right?
Transition.
Speaking
What a
about
segue.
speaking about racism.
Okay.
Yep.
So there was these Nikes that were coming out.
They came out.
They came
They
out.
were out
right?
for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Colin Kaepernick came out and was like,
He was
"You know
like,
what, Nike,
eh.
I'm not really rocking with that shit because some people are gonna feel some type of way because they had the American flag, but like the old one, like the
Yeah, he was trying to
good old
ask.
days.
He was trying to ask Nike,
Yeah.
since he works for Nike as well. He was trying to ask him, okay, when you guys did like the research, the design, put them out, all that. Do you guys like who was the creative team? Were there like multicultural people in the creative team to see? Did none of you guys caught this red flag?
Right.
And they're like, no, we thought it was pretty cool, but it was
Of course.
getting appropriated by certain like either
America.
by America and certain groups of the far right that were
Not
using
America. America.
yeah. So he said you guys should actually look into this. Nike did some research, and there's a nationwide recall right now going on for the sneakers to bring them all back.
Wow.
They're not going to be available on Nike.com or anything
Bro.
like that.
Wow.
But guess what? That opened the fucking market for them shits. Wow. I saw that one of them shits sold for $2,500.
$2,500?
Now
And it's only gonna get more
I
expensive.
need a pair of those.
that's
Yeah.
also that's on the sneakerhead though.
I
So
need a pair of those.
the sneaker culture is insane. So if there's a mistake done or something done or it's out there,
If it's like
it's because it's
exclusive,
rare, it's
yeah.
exclusive. You know. Now that shows Nike's lack of diversity and inclusion,
Yeah.
which was a big topic that we've covered in the last 3 or 4 weeks,
Yeah.
especially in the
But they
Big
got
Apple
better
Awards.
because
Well, they
back in
did-
the day, they would have never even cared what Colin had to say, and now they actually took
I
his
mean,
input.
Colin is their main spokesperson
Yeah, they're like-
now.
they-
so.
they-
They,
recalled
they
it.
were the only ones to actually back Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
too.
but their problem
even
is-
though they did this, like
Not
what
their
are you gonna
problem
say
for those
against that?
specific sneakers. So there's like I don't know, not to get political, but I don't know the name of the actual congressman or person in Arizona
It's the
where there's
government.
a big Nike factory. So he's gonna pull all the government funding to Nike until Nike brings the shoes back.
Let's go.
So he wants the shoes to come back.
Racist Arizona.
So,
We salute you. I gotta have documents to walk in Arizona. That's how I love it though. I love it though.
Maybe crazy.
Stay out of there. Stay out of Arizona.
oh,
Arizona.
Craze, you were there? You been there?
Will Poppy go to
Stay there.
Arizona? Has
Just
Poppy
stay
been to Arizona?
No, güey, porque imagínate yo cuánta cara.
¿Cuándo te vas para allá? ¿Cuándo te vas para allá?
Es que yo no
Would
puedo,
Poppy
no
do a
puedo.
show over there? I gotta speak to Tommy.
It depends what part of it.
Listen.
Like, yo con papeles,
Que no.
no hay problema, because
I
they're
know.
gonna say, oh, eso es fotocopiado. Ese es tu primo Julito.
Shout out to Glendale, Arizona. That's the only popping place.
Glendale, Arizona? Okay.
What's going on in Glendale?
What's popping over there?
There's brown people.
There's brown people there? Okay.
They cool.
Because of the
That's
sun, they white people.
That's-
Nah, listen.
I think you might be right. All right, what else?
Chris, you don't have another topic?
Those are my. You shot one of my topics
Yeah,
down.
you killed one.
No,
of his
I
topics,
didn't
though.
shot it down. We got into the
Like, yo,
DR
we just wanna
topic.
do
We
that.
got into the
I
DR
don't want to
topic.
get yelled at. You tell me what you want to talk
Oh, I don't.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I just shot
shit.
it out.
Damn.
You tell me what you want to talk about.
He's back
I
to
don't
me.
want to. I don't want to get.
We're working on a documentary.
Wow. Let's go.
So, next week we'll have Karina Ortiz. She was on Orange is the New Black. She was on Platanos and Collard Greens, The Long Road Home, on The Rick A Show. She's a singer, actress, everything. And July 16th, we will have Trilo. So if you have Grubhub and all those food apps, and you're Latino or Hispanic, download Trilo. My man Jose Salcedo and Giancarlo Ortiz, they have an app just for you. They'll be on the show July 16th, our 40th episode, season 3 finale. So, cheers to you. Shout out to Justin. Oh shit, wait. Justin, what was your favorite episode? He's gonna give me, he likes them all.
My episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah! Season, alright, first season, episode 10. His episode. So we'll see you next week. Cheers. Remember, the red cup for the summer. You can get it at StellaArtois.com. The Rick A Show is going to give away some cups, so stay tuned for that. Cheers.